Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Let me tell you. I hope that you took my advice yesterday and padded your rooms, protected your remote control, and did all of those things, because get used to this, ladies and gentlemen. These are going to be the kind of battles that we're going to fight for the remainder of the season. But the Knicks, after looking pretty much dead in the water for this game, found a way to pull it out. Julius Randle wasn't playing well. R.J. Barrett, he didn't start the game well. It was just a drag and a struggle. We got down 8, and it seemed like we got down 8 in the first quarter, and it seemed like we could never, ever, ever get it back. But we kept chipping, and we kept battling, and we'd get down 12. We come back to 6. We get down 13. We come back to 8. And then finally, we started to get some breaks go our way. And thank you to the Grizzlies for missing so many free throws. And the Knicks finally pull out one of these games down the stretch. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that say, well, the Grizzlies didn't have this guy, and they missed the free throws, and they did this and they did that. I don't give a damn. We pulled out the game. You can say what you want. We pulled this MF out. Let me just say that. Keep it clean. Try to keep it clean. We pulled it out, ladies and gentlemen. A gritty win. I mean, when you look at a score of 133 points, you don't think of a gritty win, but this was a gritty win. And Memphis is much better defensively than I think a lot of us probably gave him credit for. Much better defensively. R.J. Barrett, ladies and gentlemen, the kid came through once again, knocking down big buckets, making big plays on the offensive side of the ball when we need him to. Big buckets from R.J. Barrett. Alec Burks came through. We needed Alec Burks to come through. He came through. Derrick Rose, throughout the game, when our starters weren't scoring, Derrick Rose was carrying the load. Emmanuel Quickly was carrying the load. We got contributions from around the board tonight. From around the board. Hopefully this is the game. Hopefully this is the game that maybe wakes him up and starts to bring that oomph out of him. We'll see. We'll see if this is the one. But, this was a battle, man. This was this was a battle. Have you ever, I don't know, some of you guys, I know you guys out there, all you guys are rich, got money and stuff, you got people cut your own lawn. But you ever been outside on a hot day and you got to cut the lawn and it's like, it seems like it's never going to get done? You know what I'm saying? And you're just going back and forth, and it seems like, didn't I just cut this part? But it seemed like it grew back already. And you just keep going and going and going. And finally you get to the end and you're like, wow, I did it. That's what this game seemed like, man. We pulled this one out. Good win by the New York Knicks. Very good win. Still got a lot of things to work on, but very good win. The Memphis Grizzlies, ladies and gentlemen, they were, excuse me, such a good win. I'm all choked up, ladies and gentlemen. The Memphis Grizzlies, they scored 26. Ja Morant scored 26 points tonight for the Memphis Grizzlies. 26 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. And for a guy that we're supposed to lay off of and not let him shoot, well, he's 4 for 5 from the three-point line, 80%. It's 9 for 18 from the field as well. Shot 50% from the field. Jonas Valanciunas, he had 20 points, 14 rebounds. He showed some of the things I kind of feared when we talked about it in the pregame about, matching up with Nerlens Noel. I talked about Dylan Brooks. I said, we can't let that guy get off. Guess what? He got off. 23 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. He was really hurting us. He was hurting us all throughout the game. Kyle Anderson, I had a feeling he was going to hurt us. He got the slowest three-point shot that I've ever seen. Him and the guy over there in Minnesota. Them two guys got some slow three-point shots, but they get it off. Can't understand it. Desmond Bane, he was playing some good basketball tonight. 16 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. But guess what? The New York Knicks got a lot of contributions as well. A lot of contributions from a lot of people, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of contributions from a lot of people, led by the young buck, R.J. Barrett. Right? R.J. Barrett, he had big shot after big shot coming down the stretch. He had 20 points tonight, R.J. Barrett. He also had 5 rebounds, 2 assists. And again, I just can't say enough about his ability right now to score down the stretch and hit big shots in big moments. You know, he's proven to a lot of people that, he can get it done when you need him to get it done. So Tom Thibodeau's building trust in him. Obviously, his teammates building trust in him. Big time stuff from R.J. Barrett. Julius Randle had another triple-double tonight. Didn't shoot well. 4 for 12 from the field, only 33%. 1 for 2 from the three-point line. The one three-pointer that he made was a big three-pointer. And you know what's crazy? It was a big three-pointer. And I had to watch on NBA TV because the Wizards were playing the Warriors. Just before he shot the three-pointer, it went out and said, "This game is not available in your area." I was like, what the heck is going on? You can't do this right now. This is not the time to do this. Almost busted my TV open. Messing around with NBA TV. What they doing over there? Anyway, 5th triple-double in 14 games for Julius Randle. The 5th triple-double in 14 games. Elfrid Payton had 12 points, 1 steal. He didn't have any rebounds. I said in the game preview that we need this guy to get some rebounds. He didn't get any rebounds tonight. Derrick Rose, like I said, he carried us when our starters weren't scoring. He carried us 19 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Alec Burks had 19 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. He had some big shots down the stretch. Obi Toppin gave us some minutes. He had 8 points and 6 rebounds. Manuel quickly had 20 points tonight. A lot of contributions from the Knicks. Nerlens Noel, he had 6 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 blocks. And guess what? You rebound the basketball, you win games. The Knicks won the battle of the boards 58-57. They also got some offensive rebounds. They had 11 offensive rebounds. Memphis Grizzlies had 10 offensive rebounds. To get rebounds, you win. I mean, not every game, but put yourself in a better position to win. Let's get on over here to our panel, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about this game. Good win from the New York Knicks. I feel good about it. Because it was a gritty, grimy game. We were down. We couldn't get anything going, and we found a way. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to do. Josh, talk to me, man. We found a way to pull it out. Talk to me.
Keep telling people about this team. This team fight. They're in every single game. Almost every game that we lost this season, the Knicks were in it, and it came down to the last possessions of the game. And, just tweaking a couple things here and there, like not turning the ball over, making some shots, and this team can win against any team in the NBA. Right. You know what I mean? So do not count this team out. I know people were feeling down about this team. I wasn't. I know the Knicks are going to be fine, and, they showed it tonight. So.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they still got a lot of work to do, but this is the right way to start, right? They got a lot of work to do, but this is the right way to start. They're still in the 8th spot, 26-27, right? I know Boston went into overtime. Let me see what happened with Boston. All right, Boston and Minnesota went into overtime. And listen, people laugh and they say stuff, obviously we shouldn't have lost to Minnesota, but Minnesota's playing much better. Since they had a coaching change, they're playing much better, much harder, better defense. They're a young team that, when they add some pieces and they start to grow together, they might, watch out for them. Isaiah, real quick.
Hey, what's going on, Stim? I know I was the one to say Sagov Ja, and of course, the guy who shoots 25% goes 4 for 5 the day I say this. But the maturity of R.J. Barrett is just unbelievable. So, I mean, shout out to you, shout out to Tony, Steph, shout out to Gambo, just left the show. Again, the maturity of R.J. Barrett, the plus and support. R.J. Barrett literally, I think if it's not 3 plays in a row, it was 5 of his plays was the clutchness of his playing tonight, unbelievable. The maturity of him. This kid is growing between our eyes. I think we saw the instant classic between the number 2 and number 3 pick, and they're gonna have way more battles to come. And I'm excited for the future for us, man. This kid is special.
Yeah. Tony?
What's going on, guys?
Good,
Peace,
man.
Queen. Peace, Sam. Shout out to the chat. Yo, Black is time. This is one of probably top 3 favorite wins this year. Randall didn't play well, but still ended up with a triple-double. RJ clutch moments.
Yep.
Burks, man, I've been high on Burks all year because I know what he's capable of. And his thing is, or at least my thing with him is, if he does it at the right time, that's what we need. You know what I mean? Like, basically, just like Josh said, this team fights. You know what I mean? Everybody, like, they're all fighters. They all dogs. Like, they all trying to play their best, whether they win or not. But the fact that he's one of our best shot makers, I think, these opportunities down the stretch, I think those are good for him. You know what I mean? So I'm just glad we got the win, and I like the way we did it, man. It was everybody contribute down the stretch.
Yeah.
You knew why everybody that was in, you knew why they was in.
Right. And here's the thing. Throughout the game, everybody contributed throughout the game. People were doing just enough to keep us there, right? To keep us close until, we could have some things bounce our way. And to my man, Cornerstone Kev, Frank found his situation. Hey, got in the game. Steph,
we still gave up the 3.
Steph, how you doing?
That wasn't Frank's fault, though. He gave it.
I know.
I'm doing good. Shout out to you, Sim, the chat, the panel. I want to start with saying rest in peace to DMX. I just see you put that up. I'm not going to be able to make the show. One of my faves. I had just saw his and Snoop versus maybe, I don't know, like a week or so ago. And I've been rocking DMX ever since. And then, I get the news. But rest in peace to him and condolences to his family and the fans. When we lose people like this, I don't know. For me, their music is such an integral part of my life. When they pass away, I kind of feel it. So
without a doubt, because I know I shed some tears today. I'm not even gonna lie. I couldn't hold it back. I'm sitting by myself and I'm trying to fight it. Like, dang, do I want to do this? I was like, freak it, if it's gonna come, it's gonna come.
He was anyway. Listen. Shout out to Tibbs, who kind of switched things up a little bit. Stayed with the second team a little longer, went with Burks at the point, didn't play Rose or Peyton for good stretches of that fourth quarter and overtime. And not sure what it is with Rose. He was playing well offensively. Maybe he had some concerns defensively. Maybe it was he has a soft minutes restriction. I'm not quite sure what it was, but Burke came up big for us today, and we need him. We like I always said, we're a different team when Burks and Bullock are playing well, and we need them. Randall did not play well, starting out. Neither did RJ. But shout out to RJ for staying in it. Sometimes when your shots are not falling, things are not going your way, you tend to kind of give up on the game. But he was mentally focused, and when his time came, he came. He came through for us. These are the types of games the Knicks are going to be in down the stretch. I know some people feel like we're not a talented enough team, and that may be so, comparatively speaking. But for me, winning is not just talent; it's other factors as well: coaching, execution, defense, all of those other things as well. right? So the Knicks have those other things. And we've been successful because we've been working the other factors, so to speak. And as long as we continue to do that, we're going to be right in there with the other teams. All of these teams are in the standings together for different reasons. Some teams are more talented, but they're not executing. They don't have the coaching. We're there. Maybe we're not as talented. You can argue that, but we have the coaching. We got the execution. So we're all in that same, bunched up in the same standings for different reasons, and we need some separation. This is how the Knicks play. And this is what it's going to be like. And if we're going to win, it's going to be because of our defense, because of our execution, timely shooting, doing what we need to do down the stretch. Next year, if we get more talent, I'm all for upgrading the roster. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a net positive just because you have more talent. The defense may not be as good. The chemistry may not be as good, right? So you may wind up being in the same spot. So it's more than talent. It's so many factors that go into winning. It's a dynamic, So right now, for this year, we found our formula, so to speak. And if the roster changes next year, we're going to have to find that formula. It's not going to be automatic. But for this team, I'm excited. It's going to be tough down the stretch. It's going to be tough down the stretch. Pretty much games like this all the way out.
All the way out. And that's where I get concerned about the mental and emotional strain that's put on the players. I say this, I think they're enjoying it. They got to be enjoying it. For those guys that's never been in this situation, they got to be enjoying it. It's got to feel good. I'm going to come right to you, Tony.
Hey, Sim, real quick, Sim, can I say something?
No, hold up. Just hold up. Can I finish what I'm saying? Teams, teams that are near us, teams that are near and around us, ladies and gentlemen. You got the Bulls. They lost to the Hawks, 120-108. The Indiana Pacers, they beat the Orlando Magic as expected, right? So this win is really big for us. They beat the Orlando Magic 111-106. I mean, if they won and we lost, all of a sudden we're both 3 games below 500, right? And then now you're threatening to drop down to that 9th spot. Now the Knicks won, Indiana won as well, but the Knicks, climbed back to being just 1 game under 500, while Indiana is still 3 games below 500. The Charlotte Hornets right now, they're leading the Bucks 100-81. All right, so that's what's happening around us right now in the standings. Real quick, go ahead, Isaiah, so I can get to Tony.
No, I just wanted to say, can we stop spreading fake rumors in the chat about DMX, please? Because there are people, because there's some people saying some crazy stuff sitting on the chat. So I'm just letting people now say, I'm warning people now, stop saying crazy stuff about DMX, please. Respect him. He passed away. Respect his family. Thank you.
Right. Tony?
One thing I was going to say was watching the game, and I didn't see the whole game. I only got to see probably the second half. But watching the game, it felt like we were playing ourselves in a sense. Not the roster construction, but just the way the flow of the game was, especially down the stretch, the way they lost the game was kind of the way we've been losing games, these past couple of games at least. So it was just funny. And last episode or last show, you said we need to get a win, one of these wins, but like this, you know what I mean? Like these games down the stretch. So. And Clyde also said it tonight, this the kind of win that could propel you, because now we've been in this situation game after game after game and just finding ways to lose. And this time down the stretch, we executed and then executed again and then executed again. You know what I mean? Like we know we could do it now.
Right.
And then I just had a question for everybody. How many of you guys was just yelling at the TV and cursing Randall for taking that last shot that he missed?
The one where he took where he was in the paint in the lane and he spun around a couple of times and then he took that shot. I was hot because he didn't even look. He didn't even look
for
out
anybody
to see if there was someone available that he could pass to. He just had it in his mind that he was taking that shot. I was heated. I was like, "Come on, man!" You know what I'm saying? Like,
but Tony, I'm not gonna lie. I lost my. I was on Gimmo's show. My dad had to come in. He's like, "Yo, you gotta stop yelling, boy," because like I was just like, I'm like, "Yo, bro, this can't be what y'all drew out of the timeout. This can't be."
It goes back to that thing of down the stretch thinking you're the guy or feeling like you have to be the guy, as opposed to, I honestly believe Randall's best shot down the stretch is when somebody actually passes out to him, whether it's like the three he hit tonight. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't him creating down the stretch. That was somebody finding him open. I think his best attribute down the stretch is to read the defense.
Right.
When he does that, if the shot is there for him, then go ahead. But find an open guy, man. And when he starts doing that down the stretch, and that's when you know it's really about the team. And I'm not saying he's a selfish player. I think that's just one of those things he has to figure out. I'm the best player on the team, right? I'm the all-star. I'm the leader. I want to be the leader. I want to take that shot. I want to prove, you know what I mean?
Right.
But not yet. He don't gotta do that every time.
Right. And
this is about 3 times down the stretch that he, you know what I mean?
It is.
He may not be our best player down the stretch. It may be Burke. Just because he's the best player overall, he may not be the best player in the clutch.
Right.
But he has to figure that out. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Like I'm not knocking him for it. And I don't think people should. I think a lot of people are. I think it's something that he has to figure out. You know what I mean? Like the best thing for the team down the stretch might not be me being the number one option. It may be me finding the guy that is gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that has the best chance of making it.
And I think like you said, he's we always see people say, he's not a closer, he's not this, he's not that. Maybe he isn't. And that's okay, but he's still growing and developing and learning how to be in the position that he's in. You don't just go from not being this guy to being this guy without there still being some learning, some growth, right? So he has to learn, you know what? I got to trust my teammates in these situations. You know what I'm saying? Because these guys can, if they're hot, they're on that night, they can knock down a shot. Right. So these are some things that he's got to learn as he's growing and developing into, let me just say a primary player. Right. I'm not going to say the guy, but a primary player. He's got some things to learn.
The best players in the world have had to make that adjustment.
Yeah.
Right. Let me trust my teammates. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's the best player. You know what I mean? But he's our best player. Right. He has to figure out that adjustment.
I mean, Michael Jordan came back and gave us a double nickel. And I think it was Will Perdue that he passed it to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
To win the game.
Will Perdue.
You know what I'm saying? Sir. Like it happens. And you got to learn it. He's got to learn it. So, it's part of a growth process. The mental part is just as much part of a growth process as the physical parts of the basketball game.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to Ian Clark. He gave me a super chat earlier in the day. I didn't get a chance to shout him out. So Ian Clark, I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Afro Jedi, he said RJ was not trying to lose this one after what Edwards said. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hey, you gotta like, if that's the case, you gotta like somebody having that kind of fight, right? Demo B. Thank you for the super chat. He said, rest in power X. RJ is becoming a dog. Put some respect on his name. No doubt about it.
Can I say something to that, Tim? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let me finish these. Daryl Ebanks, thank you for the super chat. He said, interesting when your boy Peyton leaves the game. Everyone plays better. Happened for the 1,000th time. Well, you can say that, but you know what? He left the game. Actually,
he's
that's
got- I
not
love
entirely true.
I love it.
He kept us in there with some
You know
baskets
what?
we needed.
In,
too.
in the first half, yeah, we went down 8, but guess what? We still went down 15 with everybody else in the game too. Don't say we didn't. We did. You know what I'm saying? He hit a couple of shots to help keep us in the game. Everybody always wants to take a shot at somebody. You know, we're trying to celebrate RJ doing what he's doing, talking about Randall and his growth and development, and people got to take a shot at somebody. That's Knicks fans for you. Dylan B, thank you for the super chat. He said, for Tony and Sim, he said, my remote went flying when Randall took that shot. Great fight tonight. I'd love to see RJ embrace the lights, keep killing it, Sim. Thank you. I appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. You know what I mean? You know, I guess it's just hard for people to understand that everybody plays a role on the team, even if you figure out your situation. Right, Kev? Even if you figure out your situation. Frank Ntilikina is situational. They found a situation for my boy Frank. How you feel about it, Kev?
Well, first, salute to the chat. Salute to my brothers and sister on the panel. It's been a little bit of a minute, but yeah, man. What that showed me is that he can, in Tibbs, he can expand his rotation. And, hey, first off, Sim, someone on this panel really needs to not be saying anything right now because he was all ready to talk. I gave it away, but the person was all ready to talk about that Suggs talk already as the game was going on. But we will name him nameless.
Kev, say the name. Don't be scared, Kev. Say the name.
It's one chef, whatever your name is. You call yourself Mr. Isaiah. You was all ready to talk about the Suggs talk and everything. You give up on your team too quickly.
Well, we're not going to get into all of that. Let me get to Josh. Yeah. Josh was going to say something. Go ahead, Josh.
Exactly.
So I just wanted to add on to what you guys were saying about Randall and how Randall's is still developing into that leader. And showing the ability to being able to get other teammates involved or, deferring to other teammates. That rolls right into what RJ Barrett is now starting to do, which is at the end of games, take over and be that guy, that person that we need for this team. And this is the RJ Barrett that I've been wanting to see from the beginning. This is why I was so tough on him, because I know he had the ability to do so, but he just had to work his way and be able to get into that situation. And tonight he definitely showed it. There's nothing else really. This is the RJ Barrett that we need on this particular team. You know what I'm saying? So big up to RJ Barrett. I got to give him his props because he definitely showed that he can be able to, not hit clutch shots and not turn the ball over when the game is on the line. And I think the Knicks not turning the ball over definitely was a big part of them winning the game tonight because the game against the Celtics, the game against Brooklyn, the game against Philly, those close games that we lost, it was because of turnovers. And the Timberwolves, it was because of late turnovers. And tonight we held on to the ball. So big ups to RJ Barrett. I got to give him his props for that. So that definitely hurt me when I said it.
And we cut down on giving them those offensive rebounds in the second half.
Yep. I mean, they still, they grabbed 10, but I think, on the flip side, we grabbed 11.
They grabbed 10. That must have been the first half, right?
I don't know which half it was. It might have been. Might have been.
Because I didn't see it. I started watching the game at halftime. I just got home, and I'm pretty sure they said 10 offensive rebounds in the first half. They might have had 10 in the first half. But, the Knicks, rebound and defensive rebound. The Knicks had 37 defensive rebounds. The Memphis Grizzlies had 33 defensive rebounds. The Knicks were able to get in there and rebound tonight. Julius Randle had 10. Then you had Nerlens Noel had 5. RJ Barrett had 5. Derrick Rose had 4. Taj Gibson had 8. Alec Burks had 5. Obi Toppin had 6. Emmanuel Quickley had 4. So our guards did a good job of helping out. Right. We grabbed a couple of rebounds, foul line extended. I talked about that maybe a couple of days ago that we need guys to play that foul line when teams are shooting threes, because you shoot threes, a lot of times that equates to long
rebounds. So if you're playing foul line extended, you can grab those rebounds when they get out there. And, you know, a missed three sometimes can be like your outlet pass to a fast break. You know, you get it and you're ready to go. The Knicks did a good job rebounding tonight. They did a good job hitting their free throws. 29 for 33 from the free throw line for 88%. Where the Memphis Grizzlies were 21 for 34 for 62%. That, you
That's
know,
what
of
they
course,
lost it.
that changes the game.
That's where they lost it.
Right. That changed.
That's where they
Exactly.
lost
That
it.
definitely changes the game. Still a lot of assists for the Memphis Grizzlies. They had 33 assists tonight. The Knicks had 24, scratched out 24 assists tonight. 14 turnovers for the Memphis Grizzlies. Only 12 turnovers for the Knicks. Tough fought game. Way to pull it out. You know, still a lot of things that they have to work on. You know what I mean? Like, especially, you know, in that first half, throughout most of the game, not just the first half. You know, we were, you know, they're a tough defensive team, much tougher than I thought they were going to be. Not even going to lie. Tougher than I thought they were going to be. And they, you know, they jammed us up, made it hard for us to, you know, try to move on or off the ball. They played physical. You know what I'm saying? And the Knicks have trouble with teams that play physical that way. You know, teams when someone is, you know, pushing them around and moving them. While the Knicks are a team that, you know, they play tough and they play physical, when another team defensively plays physical, I think the Knicks struggle just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. But good win. I do want to remind everybody, please, man, check us out at midnight. We're just going to do a little, you know, 30 to 40-minute fan tribute for DMX on the front stoop. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. All right, that should be fun. We're just going to, you know, talk about X and movies and albums and stuff like that. We'll listen to a couple of songs, take some phone calls. It's going to be fun, dope. So make sure you join us at 12. Go ahead, Kev.
Yeah, I got to give some props to Obi Toppin. He's really, I want to say, coming into his own a little bit. His energy around the basket and Rose, you know, recognizing him at times. It's really he played good tonight. He really, I got to give him his props.
Okay. All right. Guillermo, what's your take on tonight's game?
This was a because honestly, I know this might sound Debbie Downer, but the Grizzlies had this game locked up with 3 minutes left to go, and they got cocky. When Dylan Brooks took that three, he dribbled in the corner, and he took that fadeaway three, like fading into the sideline, and he missed that shot. You know, stuff he's doing with RJ. Yeah, I mean, they got sloppy at the end. You know, that's when we talk about culture, when we talk about having an attitude at the Garden, where it's like, all right, we know you're the more talented team. You guys might have it tonight, but you start pulling off, you know, little rinky-dink stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I thought this was an excellent. All right, F them. We have nothing else to lose. We're down. I think they're down by 8 or 9. You know, I loved what the Knicks done. You know, RJ Barrett hit some big shots. Alec Burks hit some incredible layups, and he was 5 for 15.
That's your son. That's your son.
That's my son, RJ Barrett, man. By the way, let me say something real quick, man. RJ Barrett has had clutch shots before. RJ Barrett had the Rockets game last year.
Yeah.
He had the game this year, the Wizards game. We're down by 5. No one could score. He was drawing fouls, which again, he's slowing down the pace. He's controlling the game, getting guys into foul trouble. Understand that Westbrook and Bill, they're a relatively low-level IQ team. They're more aggressive. He got, again, no one remembers the Pacers game. He was responsible. Remember that? No, that was the game that we were down. Well, we were also down in this game. In that Pacers game, we were down by 5. And we couldn't get a score. Derrick Rose couldn't get anything. And came in, and he was responsible for he had 7 points by himself, 8 or 7 points, and then he had that pass out to Randall. So he was responsible within the last 5 minutes of the game. He was responsible for like 10 or 11 points. You know what I mean? He also had the game against the Hawks where he hit the 2 big threes to close out that game where they were coming back. You know what I mean? RJ Barrett has had some solid games, and even you can say the. Granted, we lost the game, but the Celtics game where he went 6 for 6 for 3, just because we didn't win doesn't mean that his shots late in the game weren't clutch. So I think that many times we watch RJ Barrett, granted, he's a robotic player at times. And we have these expectations for him, but he's made clutch shots. Now, whether we won or not is a different thing, but in some of these games we've won. So I gotta give credit to RJ Barrett. To sit here and say that he is clutch, I'm not going there yet, but has he made clutch shots? He's definitely made them. And I like the fact that again, when we talk about identity stuff, this is stuff that translates to next year. Burks may not be here next year. Obviously RJ and Randall will be here. Quickly is going to be here. But a lot of these guys, Derrick Rose may not be here. And he had 19 points tonight.
I hope he does stay.
When other free agents look at this, granted, free agency is going to be weak, but even when you talk about drafting guys, it's like, those guys are dogs. Because Ja Morant thought he was Dame Lillard tonight, where he could go out and be flashy. Dame Lillard escaped with his life the first night because they won that game. Ja Morant and those boys, they had the game in their hand. Yeah. Dylan Brooks was bullying us. You know what I mean? Freaking Valanciunas caught a rebound over, was it Taj? Or he grabbed it over his head and just threw it like he sunned him. Like, this was not turned out to be a good game, but this was you punched me off. All right, you could have got it, but you're doing too much now. Now I got to knock you out type of game. Great resilience by the Knicks. Overtime, I thought they played excellently. The freaking Grizzlies came out hitting a big three, and it didn't phase us. Burks played like, a savvy veteran. Look at the left-hand layup he had.
Yeah, yes.
The angle he took, I'm like, what the hell? Who the hell is this guy? He's done it before, but I give it to the Knicks. This was a so-called statement game regarding the progress for the season, and just the new outlook, the new change, the new look of the Knicks. So,
yeah, well, the thing about this team, and they've been doing it all season long, is they don't stop playing, they don't stop fighting. There's been a couple of blowouts, right? A couple of them throughout the season. I don't know, maybe 3 or 4. The Nuggets, Milwaukee, a couple of them. San Antonio, but for the most part, they don't stop. They don't stop. And if you keep coming, what I think they've learned is that teams will make mistakes. They'll let you back in. It was just a good game for them to finally get one down the stretch when they've been making so many mistakes. So many, bad mental mistakes, to finally get one down the stretch. The ball, sometimes the ball bounced their way. Sometimes there were some shots that you're like, oh, they're about to hit that, but they missed it. But bounced it, the Knicks, it went their way this time. And maybe, this is, that drink of water that they needed. When you're real thirsty, and then you're like, you take that water and it feels cold going down in your lungs and everything. You're like, that feels good, right? And you're replenished. Hopefully this is, something that resets their mind. They needed to get a win to feel good. This kind of a win to feel good about themselves. We'll see where they take with it. See where they go with it.
I think also it's the personnel that Tibbs had on the floor as well, to from the end of the fourth quarter to overtime. With him running RJ, Randall, Burks, quickly. And
Taj
until he fouled out. That was a really formidable 5 right there. And I just think that that the personnel that was out there, you might see more of that in the 19 games left and everything. I mean, go ahead.
I think with Tibbs, he's whatever he feels is working is what's gonna be on the floor. Bottom line, I think that's what's going to put on the floor.
Kevin, don't let him get away with that. He's saying that because he's still trying to keep some space for his boy Peyton.
I could care less. No. Let me finish. I could care less, bro. That's I mean, you know what the crazy thing is, Tony? I've been saying this all season long that Tom Thibodeau is going to play who we think is going to win the game. That's neither here nor there. Anyway, we talk about guys having like different. We talk about the minutes distribution. Still, Julius Randle, RJ played their minutes. 38 minutes for Julius Randle, 33 minutes for RJ Barrett on the season. Julius Randle's averaging 38 and maybe 38 and 40 seconds or something like that. He played 38-11. RJ Barrett's averaging 34. He played 33 tonight. I mean, these guys are still, they still played what they normally play. Nerlens Noel played 24. Taj Gibson played 27. Burks played 33 tonight. Obi Toppin played 15 minutes. So that that was good for Obi Toppin to be able to get get some good minutes out there. And then Emmanuel quickly played 30 minutes tonight.
Let's also thank the refs too, Sim, because there were some plays where Ja Morant was looking for some fouls late, and they weren't doing it.
Yep.
And these refs, I know that comes up, but they've been fairly inconsistent this whole season for us. This game was one of them, but just to go to how cocky Ja Morant thought he was, they weren't going to the normal sets on offense. It was like, all right, the Knicks are down. It was 110 to like 102, 104. And Ja Morant was just trying to beat everybody with speed, draw these fouls and it's just, then they couldn't get stops on offense. So let's thank the refs for being consistently inconsistent, because that definitely helped us out. And Ja Morant, it's a learning experience for him. You don't come, because everybody wants to come to the Garden and show off. We talk all this time about protecting the Garden and all this other stuff. And I thought there was going to be a fight between RJ and Dillon Brooks, which I would lose.
Yes, indeed.
But you got to start. And granted, he's a right guy at the wrong time, because we had to make the trade. But, having a guy like a Marcus Morris, and not say you have to have bruisers and guys who are going to punch people in the face, but just the way the Knicks played, right? Especially against Dillon Brooks, who was looking for a fight. He was talking to the crowd. Yeah, Ja Morant talking to the crowd, talking trash.
Yeah.
And,
the
refs kind of helped us out. But, I will say the Knicks their resolve was
we need some rough riders. We need some rough riders.
Dillon Brooks.
Can I say something?
Hold on. We talked about this. We talked about Dillon Brooks before we got to the, during the game preview. Now we got to watch that guy, because, he can score the basketball, and he's strong. He was kind of bumping RJ around in the first half a little bit. But RJ came back. RJ came back strong. Real quick, Isaiah, and then I got a question. I want to come to Stephen and get around. Go ahead, Isaiah.
But all I was gonna say was, there's 430 people, and we got less than 160 likes. Can we get those likes up to at least 300 from our big
let's
bro?
get it up there. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get it up there.
Come on, people. Can we get the Knicks won tonight? We're celebrating the life of DMX. Can we get those likes up, people, please? Come on now.
Let's get it up there. Appreciate you.
Don't be no haters.
Appreciate you. And I want to send a shout out to Daryl Ebanks. Thank you for becoming a member. Maybe one day we'll see you in the chat. Steph, do you think this win, and we know there's a lot to go and a lot of battles left, but do you think this gives the Knicks just a feeling of life? I don't want to say of life, but feeling like, okay, now maybe we get it a little better. We can execute down the stretch. And do you think this helps to spur them into playing better down the stretch in these upcoming games?
I hope so. I hope from this, the losses that we've had down the stretch, they've been able to see, and I'm sure Tibbs has been showing them on tape what it takes to win down the stretch. So I'm sure he's been talking to them about turnovers, rebounding, hitting your open shots, hitting the open man. I'm sure he's been going through that with them on tape. And for them to then see it happen down the stretch, I hope that does kind of reinforce that, yes, if we do these things, we'll have that opportunity to win. Today they fought back down the stretch. They made some timely shots, and it worked for us. So hopefully, yes, hopefully them seeing what I'm sure Tibbs has been showing them doing it helps them. But it's going to be game in and game out. This is one game. I don't know if they got it down pat yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
But hopefully this is the beginning.
Right. Tony, what do you think? Do you think this is that beginning? And then do you think, I don't want to say we fixed our rebounding woes, but are you still, because this was one of the top rebounding teams in the league coming into the game.
Really?
We've been a good, we've been a good rebounding team all season. Are you still concerned about the rebound? So those two questions. Go ahead, Tony.
As far as the rebounds, I think every now and again it's going to happen, and it's probably going to happen more so with a surprise, like a team that isn't necessarily a good rebound team, that it wasn't on the scouting report. But I mean, I think with Tibbs, he's covering every basis when he's preparing for a team. So, I mean, if they're a good rebounding team, it's going to be one of the points of emphasis on whatever board he puts up or whatever. So I'm not too concerned with that per se. It does have to be a continued focus, but I think we'll be fine in that aspect, because we're not a bad rebounding team either. You know, we just got caught slipping a couple times. So I think, you know, that's just I don't think that's the average. I think we're a pretty decent rebounding team.
All right, John. My fault. Go ahead.
As far as the turnaround, or if we figured it out, I mean, we never know, but it's number one, it's good to get that first one or get one, especially since, you know, the past 5, 6, 7 games, 5 games, we've lost. You know, it's been down the stretch. We were right there every time. That's part of why I said it was kind of like we were playing ourselves of the, you know, the past 5 games, because they did lose the game. They probably all feel like, oh, we gave that one away, just like we felt recently in the past couple of losses. We gave a few of those games away. We should have won.
Minnesota.
So, but that being said, they are a good team, and the difference is we did what we had to do down the stretch. We hit shots. We didn't turn the ball over. We was focused on defense. We seen that trap again, forced the timeout. Those are the things that we're gonna have to do, and we've seen that in the past. It's just the outcome of the game was different. We missed it by a turnover. We missed it by a missed shot. We missed it. You know what I mean? So all it takes is one, I think, and then, you know, next time it's the opportunity arises, we know we could win. We know we could do it.
That's yeah.
So it's more confidence, at least.
And Sim, I think it's really important, man. Like, I think we stated earlier, and World Class Freeze stated earlier that, you know, the Knicks have been in the last 10 games. We have been in close games, and it's just heartbreak after heartbreak. And you just have to know you can win these kind of games. And, you know, it always starts with one. You got to get one. And, you know, if I'm Coach Thibodeau tonight, I'm telling these guys, you know, all the hard work you guys put in, everything you do, you finally saw the W after a close game. So hopefully, you know, you got to take one game at a time, but hopefully this starts something, because you got to get over the hump. Like, you know, we said it earlier, like, you know, remember when we were trying to get to 500? We'll get to like one game below, then we'll lose another one, then we'll win back one. But we finally got over that hump, and then we got 2 games over 500. So, you know, it's just the baby steps, and realizing that you can win a clutch game like this can get you over the hump and get you start in the right direction of winning these closer games. Because, you know, like Steph said earlier, this ain't gonna be our last close game, not by a mile.
Sure ain't. It sure ain't.
You know, we got to get these games.
Yeah, we played Toronto on Sunday.
Does it sound too much?
Okay.
Hey, Sam, real quick.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Kev, let him finish. Kev, come on, stop.
Shut up, Isaac. Does it sound? But this is a question for the panel. Does it sound too much of a cliche when they're saying take it one game at a time?
No, you got to. You got to focus. You got to look at one game at a time. If you look ahead, you know, you gotta take 1 second at a time. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta take it one game at a time. Josh, Toronto. We played Toronto on Sunday. What's your take on Toronto? How you feel about that game?
Definitely a winnable game. In the Eastern Conference, I've always felt like it's all about matchups. And I think we can potentially match up well against Toronto. They really don't have anybody that really, you know, really scares you like that. I think, you know, the way the Knicks are playing, the game is going to be close. They're not going to get blown out or anything like that, I don't think. And I just think, you know, the way this team has a mental fortitude about them that you can't ever count them out. And I just think, you know, against Toronto, we definitely should be able to pull that game out. I think, you know, the way we shot the first time when we played them was terrible. So I think Julius Randle and RJ Barrett are going to come back out, and they're going to try to knock down shots early and, you know, become more efficient in this game. And I think if we do that, we can be able to win this game. I'm not going to say easily, though, because Toronto is definitely well coached, but they don't have any talent.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be easily. That's going to be another, you know, another scratch out game. You know, a game that we got to scratch out because they're tough defensively. Gmo,
Right.
Gmo, what do you think about Toronto?
They're gonna be missing somebody. He just said was injured. They just said somebody was out for Toronto.
Gary Trent? Is it Gary Trent?
Nah.
Siakam? Lowry?
Damn, I can't remember who it was.
right.
I'll get back to. I can't remember who it was, but look, it's a winnable game. Obviously, I have no problem, but again, Gary Trent can be a thorn outside. He's a defensive. He's an ascending player. Can shoot. Can defend. You know, obviously, I think they're well out of playoff contention. I think, or a little bit out of it. I don't know how to conference.
Well, they are. They're like a game below the 10th seed right now. They're in the 11th seed, so they're like a game below.
So yeah, they can still be fighting for that. I don't know how they've been doing the last few games. I haven't really been paying attention to them, but again, they have elements of the games that hurt us. They have some guys from outside who would kill us. I mean, even the first game we played them, we held them to like 14% in the first half. Then they shot 34% for the whole game, so they came out roaring back. I mean, Norman Powell, Fred VanVleet, Kyle Lowry all hit killers from outside. They're probably a better coach team than the Grizzlies, probably don't have as much talent. So again, if they have a lead against us, they may not let it up. They have veterans, they have player pedigree. Pascal Siakam also didn't play the last game against us, right? Because he got suspended for that.
Yeah, suspended, yeah.
So we'll see again. Pascal Siakam, and granted, this is what I say about Randall. Randall, when you play him in one of the games against the Pelicans, he dominated him defensively. Randall dominated Pascal Siakam defensively. So it could be a winnable game, man. Again, you have to guard the perimeter. In the first half tonight, we still did poorly for the whole game. They shot 47%. At one point, they were shooting 60%. I think after the first quarter, after the first half, they shot 55 or something like that percent. So again, if these guys are smart about it, you know, they'll just keep spreading the floor, even if they make a comeback. But it's up to the Knicks to play a smart game. Guys like OJ Anunoby are also an issue. He's 6'7", 6'8". He can hit from outside. He's had some games where he's killed us as well too, or did well. So I'm not sure, Sim. I'm not saying that we can't win this game, but you know, how many games of these? Like, when was the last time we had a game against a so-called formidable foe and then carried that momentum to like another? You know what I mean? Like, it just. I know we had some win streaks this year, but I just don't know if we could carry this momentum into next team. I'm hoping so, but you know, again, offensive rebound has to be a lot better. Our defense, guys have to communicate a lot better. How many times Valanciunas was rolling to the basket with no one near him in the first half? That's just unacceptable. Got to get tighter on communications. Got to get tighter on switches. So those things got to work on. But it's a winnable game.
Yeah, Steph, how you feel about Toronto?
My take is that it's going to be a tough game. I mean, I know people think that they're not a talented team. But I think top to bottom, at least in their starting five, they probably got more talent in it than we do. You know, I'm not sure if VanVleet is playing. I think he might be injured. But Lowry, VanVleet, Siakam, Gary Trent, that's 4 people right there that can give you at least 20, you know? And so I'm not sure what's going on with them. You know, obviously, like I said before, my point is more than talent to win. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be a gimme. They're not playing well, but I don't think we're playing that great ourselves. You know, so I think that's going to be another game that's going to go down to the wire. Randall, he came on in the second half, but to me, he still doesn't look the same. I'd like to see him get more shots in the paint. He's settling for jump shots. At least that way he can go to the line. So I don't think Randall is playing the way he usually plays. We don't know if Burke is going to show up, what Bullock is going to do from game to game. So I'm not really looking at their record and where they at. I think it's going to be a tough game, and I think it's going to be another game that's going to come down the stretch.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is too. It's going to be another one of those battles because even though, you know, they have a double-digit disparity between their win-loss record, they're still just one game out from that 10th seed, and I'm pretty sure they still feel like they want to fight for that 10th seed. You know what I mean? Chicago won tonight, right? So it might be a little bit different now as far as that 10th seed is concerned.
They lost.
Oh, Chicago lost. Hold on, who they play again tonight? I forgot.
Yeah. The Hawks.
The Hawks, that's right. They lost. So
they
I see it
did.
120 to 108.
they
so
did.
that puts Toronto's now, just a half game. Oh, wait, no, they weren't one game. I'm sorry. My bad. I'm tripping. So now they're 2.5 games behind Chicago for that 10th seed. So, they probably still feel like it's in striking distance. Who knows what their mindset is about, how they look, what they're doing going forward after this season. But they may be trying to battle for that spot. So it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
But look, I got to head out early because I'm getting set up for this, for this tribute that we're going to do at midnight. So I got a couple things I got to do to get set up, just to make sure my sound is right. So it could be a good show. Kev, I see you had your hand up. You wanted to say something?
Yeah.
I don't know why you laughing.
You know what? Leave me alone. I was in agreement with Steph. I think it's going to be a tough game. Whenever you have Lowry, whenever you have Van Fleet, those guys just scare me all the time. But I think we could pull this off. I think the last time we played them, we just didn't have a really good shooting night. We didn't shoot the ball well at all. The only one that shot the ball well was Kevin Knox. So that tells you something. So
well, they were in Tampa and his mother was watching. So this time they're in New York and his mom's probably not going to be there.
Exactly.
God, don't get me started with that.
Yeah, but the one thing I'll say about Randall, he has a chance to pass Clyde Frazier for the triple doubles for this year because he's on 5 right now. Clyde Frazier's on 8, so he has a good chance to pass him and everything.
And kind of following up with you with that, I think Randall, not that he's going to get a triple double every night, but it's tougher for him to get his shot off. What was it? Fourth quarter, maybe fourth quarter. I looked up and he had taken 6 shots or something like that. Late in the third.
It was 6 shots.
Yeah, late in the third, fourth quarter, he had taken 6 shots. So I think he's going to have to adjust his game a little bit, I think. 8 in the fourth?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think
going into the fourth, taking 8 shots.
So let me ask you. So do you think it's injury, or do you think he's just tired?
Well, I think there's a lot of things that are going into it, right? I don't know if he's injured. Of course, he had the thigh contusion. I don't know if that's bothering him. I think that there's some mental and emotional drain on Julius Randle. I also think that teams are loading up, throwing that double team out there. There's a lot of I don't want to say pressure on him, but he has to do a lot.
So
right?
So you don't think because he made the All-Star team that he just said, you know what, I made my All-Star team, I don't really have to do.
No, I think because he made the All-Star team, teams play him a little bit differently, and just like we talk about rookies. Right, they have to build the endurance for the season, and I'm not talking about the physical endurance; it's the other things. Getting used to the constant travel, getting used to, the constant preparation and all of that stuff. With Randall in his position, he's never really been this. He's never been here where the Knicks are right now, and being the player that he is. So you've got to build some mental, emotional, and physical endurance. You got to build it. You know what I'm saying? And so I think right now he has to approach the game, not that I'm going to force up this shot or that shot, but let me see how my teammates can help me. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And if he does that, it's going to get easier for him. Let me see how my teammates can help me. And I think it'll get easier for him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, just get the ball to somebody else. You don't have to.
Can I ask a question about Julius Randle? Does anybody think that Julius Randle should maybe play in the post a little bit more? Now, if the reason is that he is kind of tired, why is he bringing the ball up and down the court? Why is he getting the ball at the top of the key? Maybe this might be an opportunity for the Knicks to kind of do what they did last season. When Mike Miller took over, they took the ball out of Julius Randle's hands and they put it into the hands of someone else. and had Julius Randle, kind of play off or get in the post a little bit more. Because I do think if he is getting tired, him being able to dribble the ball and be that playmaker, that's more tiring than anything. Why don't you just throw him down in the post? Randle can be just as effective in the post as he can at the 3-point line.
I will say, having played the post, it takes a lot of energy to play down in the post as well. And sometimes just bringing the ball up the court is a little more reprieve than all of that banging. But that being said, I do think somebody else bringing the ball up, even if I would like to see him play a little bit close to the basket and draw fouls also. But even if he still plays outside, somebody else can bring the ball up and pass it to him on the wing.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes, he needs to just sit out in the corner, maybe 3 or 4 possessions, sit in the corner and just let the team work. That, just see what he can do, because he needs a little bit of a break.
Yeah, I think a perfect opportunity right now would be RJ Barrett. I like the way RJ Barrett has the ball in his hand. He makes good decisions with the ball for the most part.
No, he doesn't. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I like your haircut, Kev. Nobody was going to say it. They all fake on the panel. No, so I think this right now is a good opportunity for RJ to step up a little bit more. I mean, these last couple of games he's been great. I'd like to see him be the playmaker more. He can run a little pick and roll with Noel, get it to open shooters, let Randall rest a little bit. I think this will be a good opportunity. I mean, between we got Toronto next. We got the Lakers on Monday. They don't really have that many, to me, that many wings that can really guard RJ. So I think this would be a good opportunity for him. So
I totally agree.
They've been doing that. Like every time you saw RJ out tonight. And the reason why, I wouldn't say he killed Dylan Brooks, but every time RJ was, if he had the ball up top or near the wing, he was calling for a pick to get away from Dylan Brooks. So they have the ball in his hands. It's just that, again, the Grizzlies kind of threw his game up. Now, granted, the Raptors are probably mostly probably weaker team, but they are doing that where it's just that they're playing out passing lanes a lot better. You saw the turnovers with Julius Randle leaving his feet.
Terrible.
Again, these teams have a scout report on what the Knicks like to do. And so it's just, again, one thing I will say, though, is that one thing that helped us out is that pace. We don't play with pace, but tonight when we actually played with pace, they had issues with our pace. Now, granted, they had way more pace than us, but when Derrick Rose got up the floor a lot quicker, and even with the Grizzlies, it wasn't necessarily just them trying to push the ball and do a fast break. It was get the ball up the floor and see if the defense is out of whack or if they're not set yet. And I think that's something the Knicks could take, because when we did it tonight, especially in that, I think it was the second or third quarter, whenever it was like that Rose rotation, it was working for us. And Grant, Randall and RJ they're logging heavy minutes. But there were games before. I think Sim, you were talking about before. I forgot what show it was, but there was one game where they were just getting through the sets a lot quickly. I forgot, and we won that game.
I remember. I don't remember which game it was, but I remember it was like pop, 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 pop.
Right. It's get into the, because think about this. Every time, this is what Randall does. And granted, I know he's tired, right? He'll get the ball and he's triple threading for 5 seconds. Then he gets in the post for another 5. And it's like, dogs, you literally let the defense relax and do it. And another thing that also helped us out tonight, when the Grizzlies stupidly did this, they double team Randall way too early. I don't think other teams can do that. When you double Randall way too early, you had Payton cut to the basket, Burks cut to the basket, RJ cut to the basket.
See, that's where I think Randall has to figure out, because he like you said, he has the ball. He'll get the ball maybe, at the elbow, and then he'll dribble and start going into the post. He's waiting for the double team. And he waits and waits for the double team before he makes a decision. Okay, I'm either gonna go or whatever. Sometimes the teams, they fake. He knows it's coming. They fake, and then at the last minute they finally send a double team, and then now the shot clock is running down. I think he has to learn, just get it where if he makes it move a little bit faster, the double team, he'll force the double team to have to come. So if he doesn't hold it, if he gets the ball, if he's going to go, he goes to the basket. If he goes to the basket 3 or 4 times when he scores, they're going to say, you got to get that double team quicker. Now he can get the ball out quicker. If the double team don't come, he can either move the ball or take the shot, but it's got to be quicker. You know, it's got to be quicker because he's holding and looking and waiting for that double team to make that decision. The teams are taking advantage of it by faking the double team, and then finally send it, you know, when the shot clock is at 6, 7, 8, or, you know, something like that. Now, all of a sudden, we're taking a last-second shot. You know what I mean? But anyway,
the knockdown shooting, we got the offensive rebounding to get the ball back. So it's like one thing that would help us is if you have a little bit more pace, right, a little bit more organized chaos, and have guys attacking. You have RJ Barrett who could slash a little bit. You have even Reggie Bullock who could get that quick pick and then shoot a little mid-range or even just shoot the three. Yeah, I mean, just getting your sets a lot quickly, man. I don't know why I know Randall's tired. It sucks, but
guys, I thank you all for being here. I'm gonna head off of here so I can start getting things ready. You know, I don't have a lot to do, but you know, it's gonna take about 15 minutes to get it all there. You know, hopefully, you know, you can join us. I put the link in the chat already. We got a DMX tribute, fan tribute, right? So people can call in and just, you know, give their thoughts, their feelings, whatever it is. We'll listen to some music, talk about movies, talk about all kinds of stuff. It's going to be fun. 30, 45 minutes the show is going to be. All right, so please make sure that you join us if you're available. All right, the link is in the chat. It's pinned to the top of the chat and all of that. And out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you all for being here.
Rest in peace, DMX, baby.
Be peaceful, ladies and gentlemen.
DMX.
Beware the dog.
Out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Catch you on the next one. Big shout out to Guard Up Knicks for becoming a member as well. Hopefully we see you in the chat. Appreciate you, my friend.